prison. A small virus. You know, I hate catching a cold. Never liked it. It's like this little virus comes in your body, and you have a cold, and you have a headache, you have a flu, you have fever. But that one little virus, see how much it does to your body? But one virus grows and affects the whole body. The trouble with little sins, they don't stay little. There's a principle that says, sow one thought, reap an action. Sow one action, reap a habit. Sow one habit, reap a character. Sow one character, you reap a destiny. That's very important. What you sow today, you will reap tomorrow. There's another story about tadpoles, I'm going to tell you. On a college campus, the guys were like, you know, taking a shower, and all of a sudden the water went off. Halfway in their bath, the water went off. They're like, stupid girls, I bet they're the ones who closed our water. So they ran across to the other side, knocked on the girls' dorm, and they're like, how can you switch off our water? But the thing is, the water got switched off there also. They're like, you didn't switch it off, there's no water here. So fine, they called the maintenance crew, and the maintenance crew, they searched and they searched. They checked the valves, they checked the pipes, they checked anything there, but they couldn't find anything. They're like, we do not understand why the water stopped. There's no reason, there's no explanation. So finally what happened was, like, okay, let's go check the water tower and see if there's anything there. So when they went and checked the water tower, there was this big bullfrog. See, that's a bullfrog. There was this big frog, and he was stuck in the pipe. And because he was stuck, the water could not go through. And I'm like, how did a frog get into the water tower? Plus what happened was the fact that he came as a little itty-bitty little tadpole. And he came as a tadpole through a pipe into the water tower, and because they did not check it properly when they were doing their cleaning, this little tiny tadpole, he had a good time in the water tower. He had nice water, he ate all the dirt from the bottom, he was all happy, and he became a nice fat little bullfrog. You see, so many times something may seem only to us a small indiscretion. It can be, it's just a small mistake, a minor infraction, a short lapse of judgment, a momentary loss of control. But in time, if it's not removed, that little sin will grow, and before we know it, it will flow of the living water into our lives that we choked off. It will literally choke it off. Our relationship with God, it will become stale, it will become stagnant. A fly in an ointment is like a picture. For example, let's imagine that God is the chemist. He's the one who prepares the ointment. The ointment is you. If you let the fly come and sit in your life, which is sin, then what happens to your sweet-smelling fragrance, which is the testimony that is produced by our lives? In 2 Corinthians 2:15, it says, our life and testimony are described as an aroma, but the aroma can be spoiled by the sin that is in our lives. The New Testament calls us the salt of the earth, but if that same salt loses its saltiness, it's just what to be trampled by foot. Similarly, salt is good, and it also says in Colossians 4:6, let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. Salt is like ointment. It's used for healing. I remember when a little rusted nail, it like poked my feet, and so my father said, oh, come, I'll give you good ointment. I was like, what's that? Nothing. He went into the kitchen and heated the salt. When my father heats anything, I always get scared. And I'm like, what is he heating? He's like heating salt. I was like, okay, what's he going to do? Cook my leg? And then after that, he put the salt in a cloth. Nice transparent cloth. He put it, and he said, come. I was like, it's going to be warm. You know, I guess it's going to feel warm. It's going to feel nice. He turned my leg, and he just put the little bag on my foot where it had hurt. I am telling you, I have never felt such an excruciating pain. It's like somebody took a needle and just hit it right through my foot. It's a salt in a bag. How on earth? I don't know how, but the pain, like, I could feel the pain go up, and my brain is telling, push my father, push my father, push my father, because I'm in so much pain. But after doing that 2-3 times, the pain was gone in my foot. And my foot was fine after that. It's amazing what salt can do. Why God even created salt. But the thing is, He calls you the salt of the earth. To others, when you talk about Jesus to them, it can be the most painful thing. I mean, you go up to someone and say, brother, you know what you're doing, you know, it's sin, but Jesus loves you. He came for you. I mean, they can be like, what? You know, for them it's like somebody poking something in them, you know? Come on, man, come on, you know? You were meant for something more. You are the salt of the earth. But if you lose your saltiness because of a little indiscretion, because of a little sin, then just think about it. What is the fly in your ointment for you today? What is the sin in your life that is now destroying or has potential to destroy your witness? Maybe you're thinking, it's just a little sin, but one little sin can have great consequences. In the Latin or Greek, I don't know which one it is, but sin is described as missing the mark. That is what the rocket did. It missed its mark. That is what happens when every time we sin, we miss the mark. In the Bible it says that we are running towards the high calling of Jesus. We're running towards the prize. We're literally running. So you imagine this person running in a race. Running. And all of a sudden he sees something sin right there. He gets distracted. It can be anything. He gets distracted. He's going to bump into the next person and he's going to fall. But the other person is going to keep running. And because of that, he will not get scared like that. But because of that, he just missed his mark. You see, to a runner, if you're a runner, you know, I'm not a runner. If I ran, I would, you know, that would be different. But a runner knows that if you miss even a 0.2, you've lost your race. The runner cannot afford to lose not even a millisecond because he knows every second counts for him to go and catch his prize. There was a grandmother in Colorado, Lillian, and she tells her grandchildren a bedtime story from the Bible every night. One night she said, tonight we're going to talk about sin. Do you know what the word for sin is? And her 7-year-old grandson, Keith, he's like, it's when you do something bad. So the 4-year, and then he has a 4-year-old brother, and his 4-year-old brother eyes, they become so big, they're like, I know a big sin that Keith did today. And annoyed, Keith turns to Aaron and says, you take care of your sin and I'll take care of mine. That's what I do. This is the same thing I did with my brother. Because my brother will always blackmail me. I will tell mommy what you did. I said, you take care of your own blackmail, I'll take care of mine. Seriously. It's like we're so busy trying to point out someone else's sin. Oh, Uncle Arun, you know, I don't like the way you talked to that brother today. That's a sin. It's like you look at the log in someone else's eye, but you forget there's a big stick sticking out of yours. It's very important to remember that it's like there's this incident that I actually read that these group of students in Singapore, they this is very weird. They collected these pets. Who all has pets? Anybody? Come on, you must have had a pet. Pets? Oh, come on. Who all had pets? Okay, what pet did you have? Okay, that's an interesting pet. I don't know what to say to that. Okay, so Uncle Arun has 2 pets named Auntie Shiva and Rebecca. Who else had a pet? Auntie Bina, what was your pet? Huh? Her pet died today. Oh, come on, you people are so sad. Anyway, my grandmother has about 7 dogs. I never understood why she needed 7 of them. But anyway, she had 7 dogs. She likes, you know, dogs and she likes collecting them. Lots of people like collecting different things. But these students in Singapore, what they did was they collected cockroaches. I know, but you see, it was a huge craze in Singapore. Where they're like, man, how big is your cockroach? No man, how big is yours? It's like, they're like, see, my cockroach is so big. And so and you know what? They named their cockroaches. Oh, this cockroach's name is Bill, and this cockroach's name is Priya. It's like, even if cockroaches had names, it's like your favorite friend. If I see a cockroach, all I want to do is this. And they were like, hello cockroach, you okay today? And I'm like, you're weird. Anyway, so they collected cockroaches. The funny thing is, to you and me, that's the most disgusting thing ever. Is these people who collect cockroaches. But you know, there are some people who collect some more interesting things. I'm just thinking, who shall I call?